What's your dog's name?
Hank.
Hank?
Hank the Tank.
Hank the Tank.
He's just
I always
110.
felt so weird with dogs with like human names.
Oh, you feel weird about it?
It's so weird.
It's my favorite thing.
No.
You don't want to see a dog walk by and be like, hey, Steve.
No, I
No?
think it's so... Linda! Linda!
Linda would be great.
Carl?
Hey everybody, I'm James Palmer at a Sun Outdoors resort in Santa Barbara, California with actor Jamie Chung. And this is Campfire Convos. All right, Jamie, this is called Fire Starters as we kick this off. And I know you like the outdoors. I know you spend a lot of time traveling in between all of these projects you have going, because we'll get to Dexter, Lovecraft Country. I gotta talk about that because your performance in that is absolutely insane. But we're gonna get to some more like, let's get to know Jamie first. Is that cool?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's start this fire, James.
Yeah, let's get it going. You got married here, so that's why I want to start, because you're probably the only person I will talk to that has, said their nuptials at one of these.
El Capitan.
El Capitan. What was that day like?
Oh my goodness. Well, it was in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine told me about this site and how wonderful it was, and knowing that my husband and I love the great outdoors, it was kind of the perfect place to get married. I mean, this place is usually booked out, months in advance.
Yeah.
And so we had to wait a year and a half for and the only date available was Halloween weekend.
Oh, I love that.
And so we were like, let's go for it. It was the most perfect day. We asked all of our guests to come in costume for the welcome dinner.
Yes.
On a Friday night.
Uh-huh.
We threw a big bash at the Upper Meadow. We brought in catering and DJs, and we built a bar, and it was so much fun. And I feel like it's the best way to bring 270 people together.
Oh, that's not a small wedding.
No, it was not small. And, people came from all over, and so the costumes were certainly a great fire starter, as one would say.
Yes. What does one jump out at you? Like,
oh gosh, we had Netflix and chill. So a friend came in a giant Netflix sleeve. That's when Netflix still gave out DVDs or rented DVDs. My whole bridal party, we were Troop Beverly Hills, which is a very niche movie.
Yes, I've seen it.
It was so lovely. We had people come from South America. We had people come from Korea, just all over. And it's still something that we talk about. And it's really the only place where all of our family members have had the opportunity to spend the weekend along with our friends.
That's money. That's money. But you didn't change the name. You're not changing the name, are you?
Changing the name?
Your name.
Oh, no, because all of my cousins, our generation, we have one male cousin on my father's side to carry on the family name. And, we have so much history with this name, and I'm so proud of having the name that I didn't want to get rid of it. So no.
I dig it. My wife did not change her name.
Yeah.
Did not change it. But when your last name is Hott, H-O-T-T, like Meg Hott or Megan Hott.
I would
never change.
Oh.
People were telling me, you should take her last.
You should. James
you should
Hott.
be Saving Silverman, James Hott.
No, your kids can be hot Palmers.
Palmers, you think?
They're all hot Palmers.
Sounds a little inappropriate,
No.
but that's neither here nor there. We're gonna get deep into where you are now acting, but I wanna touch on a couple of things earlier.
Sure.
Because you mentioned kids. My 9-year-old son thought Big Hero 6 is the greatest movie of all time. So I'm curious about do you understand when you get the gig and you're gonna read the lines that these are gonna be listened to by kids over and over and over and over again?
They do table readings all the time for future projects. Mm-hmm. And the one that I read for Disney was Moana. And they just wanted to hear it out loud. And so Moana would come out then, 3 years later.
So you knew everything about it, though?
I did, and it was a great script. And then that's kind of what, after that table read, is what got me the Big Hero 6 gig.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was my first voiceover gig, and since then...
That was number one?
Yeah, that was my first.
Oh my gosh.
That was my first. And
talk about knocking it out of the park on turn one.
And it's an animation that won an Oscar, so... It was a wild ride.
Is there a pressure, you brought up that about Disney, every one of them are successful, these animated films that come out. Is there a fear of I hope I'm not part of the one
that bombs.
That bombs, right? Because they're all like so epic. Each story, it takes so much time that they are just so brilliant at doing it. Do you fear that there's like, oh
no, not at all, because they know what to do. You know, they understand that what's the heart of the story is what's most important. Specificity of the story is what's important. Representation in a story is what is most important. And so they're kind of like, you know, they're leading the charge in that department.
Yeah.
And, you know, for the rest of the industry to follow.
Yeah,
So.
it's interesting. It's really interesting. Tell me if I read this right. Essentially, if acting doesn't work out, you want to travel and take pictures of food.
Yeah, I still do.
Is that still a dream?
Still do.
Still a dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could just be like a professional Yelp reviewer and just get all my meals comped.
And
travel the world.
What's the best meal you've ever had?
Oh gosh, there's a little hole in the wall called Todoroku, and it's like this little Japanese. It's like it only seats 10 people a night.
Okay.
The only way you can get in is if you bring the chef a really great bottle of wine.
I like it already.
It's coursed out. Everything is made in house, and it ends with this amazing seafood udon like hot pot, and it just rocks your world. Yeah.
Are you like creative? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be healthy. I'm gonna get the $1 salad, Caesar salad, but then I'm gonna get $1 chicken nuggets and I'm gonna chop them up and put them in my salad for a little fancy chicken Caesar salad for $2.
It all goes in the same spot.
100%. Easy. You know what else goes in the same spot? S'mores. Would you like to
Yes.
have some s'mores?
Let's have some s'mores.
Let's do it. When's the last time you made a s'more?
Oh gosh, it was just 2 weeks ago.
Love it.
I was here 2 weeks ago.
Tremendous.
I live here, guys.
I was here 2 weeks
I'm never living.
ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you like a full flame it?
No, I
Or you
like just,
take
I just
your
like,
time. Just
it's an art.
slow.
It requires a slow roast.
It does.
You know,
It
the
does.
tip of the flame.
Yes. Do you have camping youth stories? Do you have any of
Yeah.
those? Did you guys do that?
Yes. I grew up in San Francisco. My parents found us so annoying, my sister and I, so they sent us away to summer camps every year.
Okay.
So we were old enough to go.
Got it.
And they were these Korean Catholic camps.
Okay.
Don't ask me. Well, I mean, it's just, you know, the Korean Catholic community is pretty tight knit. So we went to
Did
those.
you know everybody there? Like
We
going
did,
there?
and we would come back every year, and you know, it was really fun, and it was kind of in like the Lake Tahoe area.
Oh, beautiful.
It was called Camp Hanmaum.
Ooh.
Anyways, and then after and then after that, in middle school, we would take these camping trips with our class to Point Reyes. Are you familiar?
No.
It's just north of San Francisco, and it's on this nature preserve right on the beach, and you hike in about 4 miles.
Ooh.
And you pitch your own tent, and at that time we just had these like army-style tents. They're just canvas. And you hike in with all your gear and your water.
Oh, this is no joke. And how old are you at this time?
I was in middle school. It was like
this is a lot.
It was a 40-pound pack. It was really heavy.
Yeah, that's
but it was so
awesome.
rewarding.
And how long are you there for?
Just a night. I think that's
still
all we
pretty
can
good.
handle.
Good.
And
You'd
then
like to sleep on the
we
ground
would just
now.
hike back. You know, if we're talking about camping fails, you know, in the start of COVID, everyone started camping again.
Yeah.
Primitive camping.
For sure.
And so I thought it'd be really fun for my husband and I to go out here in Los Angeles to the Angeles Islands and bring our gear. But of course, because we're bringing everything in, I wanted the load to be as light as possible.
Yep.
And so he was really trying to sell me on a floor mat.
A mat.
A
I
mat.
don't need a mat because I gotta
No.
carry a mat.
It was the biggest mistake of my life. We're supposed to stay for 2 nights. I could only withstand 1. My dog was shivering. I was shivering. It was so
Is it
uncomfortable.
you reach over and you feel the dog's nose and you're like, that dog is
No,
cold.
the dog is like, again, my dog's not a cuddler, but he was like on top of me, and we were trying to keep warm together, and the ground was so cold. And I think we went sometime in late April, and it's still pretty chilly
Yeah, for sure.
in Los Angeles. So that was we went camping multiple times after that, and I brought a mat, and I
brought a
bought the best one on Amazon.
Number 1.
It was the best
Oh God,
inflatable
almost
mat.
got a man down. This guy almost
missed
lost
it.
him. So now with a proper mat, are you like a veteran? You're like,
Yeah,
I'll be out
I
here all
love
week if you
I
need me."
love primitive camping. Planning the meals, getting our friends together, bringing their kids, you know, bringing our dogs, finding a watering hole or a water supply. You know, kind of like taking a dip in the creek
Yep.
before starting dinner. I love it all.
Yeah.
I truly love it all.
Do you feel like, and it's kind of why we do this, like your conversation there is different than anywhere else you have conversation? Do you feel like the topics are different? The feel is different just because of where you are?
I think spending time in nature, you know, with just the necessities, I think it disarms you.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's more times to be vulnerable and really get to know someone.
Yeah.
It's like, as they say, the best way to get to know your partner is to travel with them.
Are you excited? Twins? When do you think we're taking them? I mean, this is great. Well, when
We
do you
were
wanna...
just thinking,
Really?
obviously when they're not in diapers, because who wants to change a diaper in the middle of the woods? I don't.
Okay. Keep your campsite safe.
Yeah, no. I think for now it might be glamping or, you know, getting in a decked out van and, you know, kind of seeing the world that way.
It all works though, right?
It does.
I mean, the whole point is the experience and where you're headed.
To be stuck together in nature. I mean, I think that's the one thing, the silver lining of, you know, this pandemic was that we were forced to rediscover our own country. And the silver lining is it's so beautiful.
Yeah, like brought back the road trip.
Yeah, it really did.
Let's just go see blank because we can, and let's just figure it out.
And there was never any other time that I would be like, yeah, let's get in the car with our dog and our belongings and go from New York to LA.
Did you guys do that?
Yeah, we did. I've never gone cross country before.
Oh my
It's my
God.
first time ever.
And we did Denver to Orange County. Utah was beautiful.
Yeah.
Stopped in Zion,
Love it.
which was unbelievable.
What about the Arch National Park?
Didn't get up there.
Okay.
I'm a little bummed. But on the way back, it was Father's Day, and I had one Father's Day wish. My son was in the car. I said, listen, my Father's Day wish, and we were driving through Vegas, and I was like, we're gonna get in and out. We're gonna put Jaws on the TV in the car. You're gonna see Jaws for the first time. This is the greatest Father's Day of all time. Well, I might have freaked him out. He's 9.
Did he like it?
He loved it. And it's all he talks about now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. All right, we'll finish these, and I'm gonna hit you with some rapid fire questions.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is when this fire gets hot.
Okay.
See what I did there?
It's getting hot. It's getting hot.
Yeah, let's
About
do
to
it.
get hot.
All right, Jamie, this is rapid fire, and this is fancy. You see how official this card is?
You're officially the host of Campfire Convos by Sun Outdoors.
All right, very first question
Okay.
of rapid fire.
Oh boy.
Camper or glamper?
Camper.
Like it? With the proper mat, of course.
Yes, with the mat, with all the things.
With all the fixins. San Francisco or San Diego?
San Francisco.
Easy home, easy. Lovecraft Country or Dexter? Ooh.
Both.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
What's the name of your dog?
Ewok.
That's true. I knew it. I just wanted to hear you say it. I love that name. Biking or hiking?
Hiking.
We talked a little bit about food. Cooked or raw?
I like cooked food.
You do like cooked food?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I'm a raw guy. That's okay. It's okay. We've hit it off on every other aspect other than that. This is my favorite question. Was there enough room for Jack on that door in Titanic when he tries one time to get up on that door next to Kate Winslet?
Yeah,
and
totally.
then just, right?
Just let him up there. It's like sharing a king-size bed. It's never big enough, right?
Yeah, like you both wind up like all the way on the side.
Yeah.
But guess what? In that king-size bed, you're both in the bed.
Yeah, and we're both
Not like
alive.
you're in the bed and your husband's on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't get it. How about if you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I guess I'll just go with my peoples and say rice.
Go-to karaoke song.
I don't like karaoke.
Really? Dexter kill room or your kill room from Lovecraft Country?
Oh boy. I would say Dexter's kill room because there's not as much blood.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood in yours.
You know?
Now here's a slight bit of trivia question. Who do you think killed more people, Dexter or your character on Lovecraft
Oh, I
Country?
definitely did because when you meet my character, I've already taken 96 souls, which means I've taken 96 men.
And so I looked up how many people Dexter has killed.
Oh my God! Was I wrong?
Yeah, he is at 138
Get out of here.
at the time of taping this show.
Oh man, he is a serial killer. Wow.
But I knew you right away. I was like, you're at 99.
I mean, had
No
we gotten
way.
another season, I think I would have killed more people.
Yeah, you would have been still at it.
Man, wow, you looked it up. You're hired. Okay.
Oh man, that's a way to finish this. We're gonna go deep
Yeah,
though. We're gonna
okay.
go feet to the fire. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Jamie, this is feet to the fire. We were friends through the first 3 segments of this. Now, we're gonna cut to the deep, deep core of Jamie Chung. Ready?
Ready.
I am curious about how you made this transition because like I'm watching this stuff now that you're doing and you're incredible. Like the performances are remarkable.
Thank you.
We go all the way back and I want to do like, do you feel like doing a reality show made it more difficult to get into mainstream acting or less? You know what I mean? Like if you didn't do it, do you think the path getting in would have been easier?
I don't think that any path into this line of work is there's
Well,
there's not an easy path.
Easy's the wrong word.
Yeah. I just don't think that you need to stop living in order to be an actor, because I think the whole purpose of being an actor is to have all the life experiences, right? And I do think everyone becomes a better actor with more experiences under their belt.
For sure.
But yeah, there was certainly a stigma.
Yeah.
You know, coming off of a reality show and trying to break into the scene,
Yeah.
the acting scene, and so yeah, I had a little bit of a pushback, but it just, you know, in this industry, you're always proving yourself to others.
Do you remember the moment that the perception of you changed? Was there a moment?
I think there's a moment where you stop caring what other people think about you.
That's freeing.
You know? It's really freeing, and I think when you just really start concentrating on the work and what brings you joy and what challenges you, like that's really liberating. And I think that transition just happened, you know,
Like
on my
with
last 2
doing it.
projects. Yeah.
Okay, yep. What was that moment like when you were like, I'm not doing it for people anymore, I'm doing it for me? Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Do
it
you
was
remember like where you
actually
were
just-
project-wise?
It was just on Lovecraft.
Really?
And before I was like, this would be great get, this would be amazing. And then the more I started to do the work, the more I spoke to my family about their experience in the Korean War. You know, because they all survived the Korean War. They're that old. You know, they're still with us today, but they lived during the Korean War, and it was never a conversation we ever had before. And so it was kind of a great way to get in touch with my heritage and my family, but also it made the role it made the role more special than any other gig, you know, because it was really diving into my history.
For sure.
Yeah.
I got to dive into that episode 6. Like it's kind of like a mini, I don't know,
Mini movie.
in
Yeah.
itself, right? But when I watch it, I'm like, she is doing every single thing that would give an actor anxiety in a 1-hour performance.
Oh my goodness.
Like you sang, you kind of danced in the
did.
beginning, you had a nude scene, you spoke a different language. Like, what was that anxiety like going like, okay, I have to do all of these things that every actor looks at when they go through the script going, wow, that's gonna be a difficult day. But that was like the whole, oh, and you stole like a 99 souls.
I know, yeah.
So like, what was that reading it going like, I have to do all of these things that could bring any actor anxiety and I have to do it all in one episode?
It brought me so much anxiety, but it brought me so much joy. Like, I don't think that I've ever had an opportunity to be technically a guest star and have the amount of work to do for one episode. They never showcase a character like this. I've never seen a character like this on television. And so the stakes were extremely high, you know, because I want to do it justice, I want to do it right. And, you know, it required 6 months of training. I bailed on Korean school, so I still speak Korean with like a SoCal accent, you know? I'm like a valley girl. And so that required a lot of work. And I think coming into this business or growing up, I've always kind of like shied away from those kind of roles. I always wanted to play roles that I'm really comfortable with and to have this Gia be a Korean / monster.
Yes.
Yeah, it was so challenging, but I had months to prepare. I had dance lessons, I had Korean lessons, I had singing lessons, personal trainer, because my one insecurity is being naked in front of,
I don't think you're alone
you
in that.
know, yeah.
Oh.
And so it was the hardest job I ever had, but it's the most support I've ever had on a job.
Did that episode and that experience, has that changed or brought new conversation with your family
It's
after
gotten
you
me-
went through that?
It's gotten me much closer to my family. It just kind of gave me a whole new appreciation of all the adversities that they had to go through, not only in Korea, but the challenges of coming to America and the challenges of surviving in America.
And then there's another scene in that that sticks out at me is when you're talking to Atticus, and I don't know the other actor's name, the Asian actor that he's with, the two army men.
Yes.
And he's talking about that he does not fit in America in
Yeah.
1950, and he does not fit in Korea at the same time. Like, that's not very different to now.
No.
That feeling of not belonging in either spot.
Yeah.
What is that feeling like? Because I'm assuming you've had it at times, for sure.
Yeah, and I still do. Even when I go back to Korea, they're like, "You're American." I mean, but I'm Korean. And here, you know, you kind of, you have the same challenges. And I think you start to realize that every culture and every religion kind of puts that on people.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, I don't know, especially with everything that's gone this past couple of years, it's made us realize that we need to start thinking differently.
The way the industry's going, because I've heard you talk about this a lot, and I feel like I'm looking at these like I'm looking at Dexter and
Yep.
Lovecraft Country and what you're doing, and like you're kind of like, do you feel like you're on this cusp of like household name to everyone? I think there's a large group of people that know you very, very well. And do you feel like you're on this verge of everyone in America being like, we know Jamie Chung, what's she gonna do next? Do you
I feel
sense
like that's
that or
like,
no?
No, I don't at all.
I do.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I sense it.
It's just you, my parents. That's it, James.
Well, we talked.
And my husband.
Yeah, the
my
four of us
partner.
talked about it, and we're all on board.
No,
But like,
that's it.
do you feel like, because there's a part of that where we've here talking about representation, right, and things like when you get to that point, it's no longer like, oh, Jamie Chung would be great for this Asian role,
Yeah.
Asian American role. She would be great for this role. Is
Yeah.
that where you're looking to be? Like, she should be this lead because she can do it, not
Yeah,
because.
that gets a little tricky, and I do think that, you know, the best actor should get the role, of course, but I do think that every actor brings a different perspective. You know, it's culturally the way I was raised, and with my family's history, like I'll bring a very different perspective than from someone who, you know, grew up on a farm in Ohio. And it's not a better perspective, it's just a different perspective. So I do think that that's kind of the value that we hold. And, you know, I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
But I do think that I try not to harp on that kind of stuff, you know, and I used to be really,
Did it eat at you?
yeah, it did. I think because it, you know, it questions your value as a storyteller. It questions everything, really. There's no point in wasting all that energy on thinking about this kind of things, to be quite honest. It's just,
Yeah.
do I have this opportunity to be able to tell the story? And I do think, as you said, we are on this cusp of being able to tell the stories that matter the most to us. And even though it's not a huge market, in a way, I feel like everyone kind of learns from those experiences
Oh, yeah.
and those perspectives. And I think that's really important.
So you keep talking about storytelling. That's like the
Yeah.
word here. Do you want to play different roles in storytelling in the future? I mean, when I say roles, different,
Yeah.
like produce, direct, different
Yeah.
jobs
Currently-
within telling stories.
Correct. I do think that's important, and maybe one day direct. And I think that's lots of great female directors, especially some of my peers who have kind of pivoted, still continue to act, but have now spent more time and energy becoming amazing directors.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
And you're talking
to-
about perspectives.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that would bring a
Totally.
different perspective to
It
what
really does, and I
you're
think
doing.
that's important.
This is wonderful.
Yeah,
Is there anything you want to ask me?
I do.
Okay.
Favorite city you lived in?
Ooh.
We're gonna start with the fire starters.
Okay.
Very light.
Yeah.
Easy.
Keep it light.
Yes.
I'll say Denver because I've lived there twice.
Okay.
I was there, did my rounds around the country, moved back.
Okay. You have a son and a wonderful wife. Who do you like more?
Ooh.
You have to pick one.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I have to pick one.
Yeah.
I'll say my son because I chose my wife. My son chose me to come out as he.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Deep.
deep.
Yeah, that's not fire starter
I
right
hope
there.
your
That's
wife
deep.
doesn't get mad with that
No, she
answer.
knows. She knows. I'm glad you just didn't include where my dog ranks. 'Cause that would have made things real.
I mean,
difficult
listen,
for me.
everyone knows my
Ewok.
dog is number one.
Jamie James, it worked.
Yeah.
was wonderful.
It did.
Yeah.
J&J. Maybe I can be your second host.
Ooh.
You know?
Okay. Let's just do that season.
For a female perspective.
Oh.
Like how I tied that in?
Right about
it
that.
can be
We can get
J&J.
a third chair right here.
Yeah.
Then we'll just pepper them with questions.
Yeah.
Done. Different perspectives.
I love it.
Wow.
We're done.
You are a good story.
Put this fire out.
You are a good story.
We're out of here.
Well, looks like this fire is about to die, so I hope you enjoyed this episode with Jamie Chung. Click the link below to subscribe and join us for all of our Campfire Convos.